Hey Jeff Cork, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Bryan Vore?
So, we gathered here before the women's restroom to talk about Guitar Hero and Rock Band coming back this year. We both played the games.
I played Guitar Hero first.
And what did you think about the new control scheme?
I thought that it was nice that no fail mode was on because I immediately was just the worst at it. That is a ridiculously steep learning curve. One, if you haven't played a rhythm game in a while, and then two, because the buttons are arranged in some weirdo way.
Did you ever get used to like having the white and black, like which one was where?
I eventually did after 3 songs, and of course I played 3 songs, so.
Yeah, I had a rough time at the very, very beginning, but I feel like I picked it up pretty okay. Once it starts going back and forth between like black and white and like note arrangements and stuff, that's when my brain got really crossed up. But I think I did pretty okay with the chords and stuff, as long as they're, like I played While You Were Young by the Killers.
Yep.
And like you would actually like play a certain note for a while.
Yeah, I have to say, like one of the things that I was kind of skeptical going in is that I didn't know how the live action stuff was going to work, right? So you got this live action band that you're playing with, and they react to how you're doing it. They kind of have like a sparkly effect when the things transition. So the way like when I was playing, start off good and everyone's really excited and you're kind of like, you're seeing this through your eyes. And then immediately when you start sucking, you can see like everyone in your band is just like, yeah, like the drummer was like shooing me away, and at one point I kind of tried to slink off backstage, and the roadies are just like, people are throwing stuff at you from the crowd.
The one weird thing I would say about the controls, I think you can get used to it, and it felt good to learn. The only weird part was since it's like the 6-button grid, sometimes I would accidentally press 2 at the same time, and I would get an error for that.
I was getting that too because the way that the 3 buttons are kind of configured, there's no real gap between them. It's almost like Rock Band controller rather than Guitar Hero, like a traditional Guitar Hero controller. And that another thing I was doing too is accidentally pressing 2, or I would accidentally kind of hit in the middle zone between the buttons. And also it was like when I'd see something to the far right, I would instinctively edge my fingers over to where there's no buttons.
Yeah, I would jam that pinky on like a nice hard piece of plastic that did nothing.
So Guitar Hero has that TV service where it's streaming music and you can kind of just jump in this predetermined order and just like, okay, what's going on? You know, so you're not pulling from your library or anything like that. It's an interesting take on that.
They also have kind of a paid system as well for like getting more time to play what you want from anything in that TV thing, right?
Right.
And then you can also buy like a party pass, like if you're having a bunch of friends over for a big like Guitar Hero night. You can pay some amount to just have access to absolutely everything, as much as you want for a certain period of time.
Personally, we'll call it an investment so I don't feel like such an asshole, but I've invested like thousands of dollars on downloadable content for these, right? But I can understand someone who really likes like Rock Band and stuff, who doesn't think that that's worth that amount of money, and being able to pay for a pass is really a great idea. I know a lot of people probably think, oh, there they go again. But I think this is an instance where, even though it's temporary, getting access to everything makes sense.
We also played Rock Band 4 today. What do you think about the solo mode is what's big here at E3? What do you think about that?
I think that Harmonix's handsome and talented Nick Chester is way better at it than we are. But it's a pretty neat idea though, like rather than just kind of like, oh, you've got the big rock ending, you know what I mean, where it's like, you just do this and it's like squealy-dee, squealy-dee, squealy-dee.
Oh, yes.
Instead, it's like these kind of areas will pop up and you're given guidance, so it's not like a total crazy freeform solo. We'll get to that in a second. So there's like a wavy note kind of thing and you're like, oh, this is when I need to do whatever, and there's like, oh, these I need to use the buttons that are up high and hit them fast, and then these ones I need to do down low. But whatever you're doing, as long as you're kind of within those parameters, it's designed to make you sound good. But you still sound like Nick Chester had set up where you could just solo through the entire track of Running Down a Dream.
It's like a debug mode that's not necessarily in the final game, but it may be.
Anyway, it sounded amazing.
Yeah, he made it sound so good. When I finally tried to play it, I played The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, which is great, and I figured the solo would be totally kick-ass on that. But I was just like, you know how normally it sounds so sweet and tight, and then I was just doing like, I sound like Marty McFly in Back to the Future when he's phasing out of time. The take home for me with both of these games, if you're a huge music fan and you want to play both, it's really going to mess with your mind going back between the 5-button system and the new 6-button grid.
Oh, it's going to be absurd.
It almost seems like it's more built now than ever for you to like plant a stake in one team or the other and just go in that direction. Cool.